We're in the middle of the Master Duel Worlds grind, but we're going to take a quick break and take a look at the OCG ban list that has just dropped. And I can already see two cards that definitely should be on here. So let's take a look. Let me see if I can auto-translate this real quick. Let's do English, even though the auto-translation is usually not the best, but okay. The OCG format does need a lot of help, I feel like. I think a lot of things could realistically happen on this. The one thing I don't think is going to happen is I don't think they're going to hit the Toon deck, which is the new most powerful deck in the OCG, I suppose, if we can go by recent tournaments and also metagame reports in general, not just YCS Japan, which was best of one, but also in the general format. There's a lot of Toon, and a lot of people said, oh, well, that's just because it's an FTK, and that is not true. There's the FTK version, and then there's the not FTK version, and the not FTK version was actually more popular in the top cut of YCS Japan, for example. But yeah, the Toon deck is something that I'm incredibly scared of because it's basically the hand knowledge from Cool Tune, but even more toxic in a way. Where like if they're just looking at your hand, that's the one thing. But if they're looking at your hand and they get to name a card that you can't use, that is insane, pretty much. And that's what the Toon deck does, alongside some other pretty good cards. So I don't think they're going to hit it because it's pretty new. So I don't know how. I mean, I guess it depends on whether you're a Toon player or not. But if you're not a fan of the Toon deck, then I don't think you're going to be happy with this list. But let's see. Rose Whip needed to go absolutely way too late. But okay, I mean, this should have happened preemptively for Cool Tune like it did in the TCG. But I guess finally. Geonator Transverser is a card that, even though I would argue it's not that powerful, is never used for anything healthy. This card reminds me of Reprodocus a little bit, but even more niche, because this card is basically only good in FTKs, because switching position of two monsters usually just isn't good, unless you win the game on the spot with it, which is what FTKs are doing. So that's when this card sees play, and that's why they're getting rid of it. I do know that the Toon FTK was working with this card. I am not sure if this solves all of the FTK problems, but maybe there's more. Let me know. I know I've seen versions with Wish Balkan in the Toon FTK, but then, for example, the FTK in the finals of YCS Japan was using not this card. It was using the Supreme King Starving Venom and the Nightingale. So let's see if that's also on here. Oh God, I want that. Can we have that? My God, I didn't think they were going to do it. That makes me hopeful for Master Duel. I want Cult by the Grave banned ever since it was made. Holy shit, they banned Cult by the Grave. Okay, now here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have been saying that there's one thing that the OCG is ahead of us. Only one thing in terms of the ban list, and that is they are more aggressive on non-engine. They've hit cards, even though slightly, Dominus Impulse, Ash Blossom, Cult by the Grave, which in my opinion make the game so much easier for the player going first a lot of the times if they draw them. Like, I'm all here for helping the player going second, but if those cards just add negation for the player going first, I do think they don't have a place in this game, and Cult by the Grave is the prime example of this. Ash Blossom probably a close second, and then like the other powerful hand traps like the Dominus cards a close third. Because they actually do get better when you go first, because they don't have the drawback, and your opponent, you set them, you don't even have to wait for your opponent to have cards on the field. And you don't get locked. So, anyways, those cards, the OCG is ahead of us. What they are not ahead of us is generic endboard pieces, and then Maxi, which also technically is non-engine, so that one's not, you know, included in what I just said. But yeah, Called by at 0, Ash at 2, also Droll at 1, and Dominus Impulse at 2 is a lot of things that I would like to have in TCG as well, and the OCG does get them. So that's the one thing I'm jealous of them for. But basically, if you combine OCG non-engine hits with TCG like generic Extract and Floodgate and Endboard hits, I think you'd be living the dream. Unfortunately, they can't seem to agree on it. Feather Storm, well, once again, like a year too late at this point, but sure, we'll take it. And that is all. So Maxi stays. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. One can only hope that with Called by the Grave at 0 and Ash at 2, Maxi starts becoming so dominant that they have no choice but to ban it. And then hopefully eventually that'll reach Master Duel as well. Like, I'm in the middle of the Worlds grind and I cannot even describe how many games have been ruined by Called by and Maxi already. So yeah, please. Not a bad start, honestly, for an OCG banlist. Holy, probably this might already be the best OCG banlist ever, especially compared to the last one. Okay, limited. Rotary. Okay, that is relatively tame against Cool Tune. It's a very good card in Cool Tune, of course, but that is just a consistency hit pretty much. And this is not even a starter. This is like, even this one is only good in 2-card combinations. And it's of course highly searchable in the deck, but it still is a hit, especially since you don't have a second copy once one is gone. So if you have, I mean, you can add it back from the graveyard with Mix and Rico on future turns, so that's not that hard. But if it ever gets banished by like a Bestial, or if you want to copy its effect with like Loudness War, that could in the long run matter sometimes, because you can only get it back from banished with B2B, and you don't really want to add back Rotary. So, but it's only I think it's only a slight consistency / grind game hit, nothing too major. Supreme King Starving Venom is, I guess, at limited. I think that works because the combo does need to do it twice. I'm sure people are going to find ways to recycle it somehow. I'm sure there's still a way to do it. I'm not sure if it counts as properly fusion summoned if you can revive it from the graveyard. If it does, then this is probably laughable. But even if it doesn't, then putting it back into the extra deck and then summoning it again doesn't seem like the hardest task, honestly. Probably would have been better to just ban it. But sure, I mean, it at least at surface level, it addresses the FTK, but I don't think properly, but okay. And then Overtake and Judgment. Okay, another hit on Cool Tune that already is in place in Master Duel and TCG. Does not hurt the deck that much. Combining this with Rotary, of course, you do lose 4 good cards in the deck. Solemn Judgment. Solemns are cringe. I'm all here for hitting Solemns, although, I mean, 1 Solemn Judgment, you think it matters until you realize there is still 3 Warning, 3 Strike, and 3 Accusation, and then it's like, okay, well, no one is going to play all these Solemns anyways, and they are dangerously close to each other in quality. Like, if you care about negating spell traps, you can still play 3 Accusation, 1 Judgment. If you mostly care about summons, you can still play 3 Strike, 3 Warning, 1 Judgment. Like, there's still a lot of Solemns available, so you would need to go harder on the Solemns if you want this to be impactful, and I'm kind of hopeful that they will at some point, but for now, just Solemn Judgment, fine, we'll take it, I guess. Wait. Along with the rule revision, Norden and Mental Master? Mind Master will be following the new text from Wednesday. Oh, they get errata. Okay. They will be included in the utility selection released on August 8th. So this is still the same materials, Synchro or Exceed plus Synchro or Exceed. The effect of this card's name can only be used once per turn. Okay, that's new. This was not once per turn. When this card is special from the extra deck, special level 4 or lower from your grave. Disable the effect and special summon the monster. Does that mean the effect is negated of the monster that you summon? I'm not sure if that was on there previously. It could have been. I don't know. I don't remember. It rarely mattered, I think. But sometimes it could. Okay, I think it's... the once per turn is definitely new, and that is still scary, I think. I think that is still a very, very good card. I think Instant Fusion, if it's still legal in the OCG, gains a lot of value from this. I do think they still have it. I'm not 100% on that. But even if not, there is some combo potential with this card in the future. Even in something like Luna Light, where you often have a poly available, and you can spam some XYZ monsters. I don't think OCG has gotten the Zodiac changes that we got in Master Duel, because those cards have been running rampant this weekend in the Master Duel Worlds qualifier, and those cards could definitely make use of this guy. Okay. Interesting and scary at the same time. Mind Master. Okay, Mind Master once per turn, completely fine. Completely fine. Yeah, okay. I'm on board with this one. Yeah, once per turn, Mind Master, fine. Not a bad card still. You know, you still have like a Lone Fire Blossom for Psychics, which can be a starter, target for 1/1. You know, there's still things you can do with that. But once per turn now means it. I mean, it wasn't really abused. I think it's legal somewhere, but yeah, it's fine. Okay. Semi-limited card. Okay, let's start with Cool Tune Synchro. Cool Tune Synchro to 2 is a little bit more than a consistency hit because this does affect the deck's follow-up. Because you often search 2 on the first turn, and if you open 1, you can't even set up 2 anymore if you have to use 1 to start playing. And I mean, you basically want to use this card on almost every turn and sometimes twice per turn. So this card being at 2 and not really recyclable in the deck unless I'm missing something, but I'm pretty sure it's. This does matter in the long game. I'm getting a okay. Bro, where's he coming from? From where? Hold up. Limited to okay, he's going up. All right, cool. And solemn warning. That's cool. Adding to, I mean, 2 warning, 1 judgment, 3 accusation is still a lot of solemns. This is basically this is not saying play less solemns. This is just saying play the new solemn is what it does, right? It's not actually recognizing, hey, solemns are uninteresting when the player going first just negates the cards of the player going second on top of making a board. This is just saying, yeah, you can still do that, but do it with the new card, please. Okay, Cool Tune Synchro and Rotary and Overtake are just consistency hits for Cool Tune. The deck, as long as it draws a starter, is still going to play pretty much the exact same way, with sometimes changes in turn 3. Sometimes turn 2, if you have to use a Cool Tune Synchro as your starter and you can't set up 2, but realistically your boards are still going to be very, very strong with this. This Link 5, I forgot. I remember reading it and thinking it was good, but I don't know why semi-limit matters on it. I don't know the name, and I'm streaming the Worlds qualifier with delay, so no one can tell me right now. So please in the comments enlighten me if this makes sense or if it doesn't, because I genuinely don't know right now. And then my friend Circular, yes, you can be at 2. It's fine. Unlimited. Okay, we have Sprite Blue, fine. Tearlumin's Rhino Heart, fine. Trickstar Reincarnation. Droll is at 1, which I think is the only problematic interaction with this card ever, so probably okay. I mean, if you want to go really safe, they should ban Droll and then bring it back, but whatever, man. No one's doing that probably anyways. And Toad. I don't think they banned Bahamut Shark in the OCG. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember it. Which does matter. I mean, I really don't think the applications for making it with 2 Swap Frogs or Swap and Ronin Toadin or making it in like a paleo deck really warrant for concern. I think they're probably not going to change the viability of this stuff. I think, does this mean it went from semi-limited to unlimited? Because if that's the case, then this doesn't even matter. We don't have to talk about it at all because the difference between 2 and 3 is completely negligible. But I don't know if this, maybe this means banned, but I doubt it. Yeah, okay. Fine with the unlimits, personally. Fine with the unlimits. Okay, this is a good ban list. I'll say it. This is a good ban list. It does a lot of things that I would want to happen if I was playing the OCG. And once again, take my opinion on the OCG with a grain of salt because I am not playing it actively. I'm just watching it and following it. And I often hear the opinions of people on the internet about it. From what I can tell, people are not super happy with the Toon deck. So people are not going to be super happy that the Toon deck was basically not addressed at all. But that was also to be expected. That is something that the OCG always does. They never hit the new deck, right? Which is also something that the TCG does sometimes. I mean, even though it is small hits, we got changes like Synchro Overtake to 1 and Rosewhip Ban before it was Cool Tune format, right? So these hits, instead of being like comically late, they actually happened in time for us, which is good. But for the OCG, I guess they're getting them now when they're already basically no longer really... I guess they still are suffering from Cool Tune a little bit, but they've got their new enemy already in their sights, right? Like now it's like, okay, well, Cool Tune gets their hits now, so now go and play against Toon for the next format. Which is a dynamic that I don't really envy them for. I really don't. I'm really a bigger fan of the TCG addressing these cards in a more timely fashion. So I would have liked to see some Toon hits, of course, but that was unrealistic. Yeah, Maxi should have been banned, of course, and then we can name like the 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 extra deck cards or generic like end board pieces that are all legal in Master Duel and OCG that should have been on here. but for the OCG standards, it's probably pretty good. If we're like comparing it to other OCG ban lists, I would probably say like a 7 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10. Pretty good. Does this make the OCG an awesome place? Not really. Still Toon best deck. Cool Toon still playable for sure. And Maxi still legal. Like I said earlier, the only thing that they got on us is less Ash, less Called By, less Stroll, and less Dominus Impulse, which are all good things. Those are all things I would like. I still wouldn't want to trade formats though.